قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله كما هو أهله الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا وطبيب قلوبنا شفيع ذنوبنا وسيدنا وسيد الثقلين جد الحسن والحسين أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الغر الميامين المنتجبين المكرمين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد رحمة الله على أحبابهم وأصحابهم وشيعتهم ومحبيهم أجمعين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم وقاتليهم وظالميهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين أما بعد فقد قال الرحمن في كتاب الفرقان وقوله الحق وهو أصدق الصادقين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أتاكم الرسول فخذوه وما نهاكم عنه فانتهوا وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إني تارك فيكم الثقلين كتاب الله وعترتي أهل بيتي ما إن تمسكتم بهما ولن تضلوا بعدي أبدا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As the topic has already been announced, that tonight, the seventh night, will be talking about our last Imam of our time, Hujjat-e-Khuda, Hazrat Imam Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And our responsibilities. The reason that we have chosen this topic to talk about, because it's very important to understand the Imam of our time. Because the hadith of Rasulullah in the verse of Quran that I have already recited a couple days ago, that يَوْمَ نَدْعُو كُلَّ أُنَاسٍ بِإِمَامِهِمْ, that all of you will be called upon on the day of judgment with your Imam. So the Imam has to be a leader and everyone has to follow the Imam. So it's very important to understand Imam. And then the hadith of Rasulullah talks about that. The مَنْ مَاتَ وَلَمْ يَعْرِفْ إِمَامَ-e-Zamanihi Mata mitatan jahiliya. The one who lived alive and then he could not understand his Imam, he could not know about his Imam, he could not recognize his Imam. The Holy Prophet says, Mata mitatan jahiliya. He got to death in the ignorance, in the form of ignorance. When he was ignorant, he couldn't recognize his Imam. And there's a difference between to know Imam and to see Imam. Many of the times we pray that we want to see Imam in our prayers, in our weekly prayers, in our daily prayers. Every time we pray that, oh Allah, bless me so I can see my Imam, I can do ziyarah of my Imam. It's a great privilege. But does that, is it sufficient? Would that be enough just to see my Imam? When I make dua, Ya Allah, make me alive when the zuhur of my Imam happens. when my Imam reappears. So make me alive until then, so I would be able to see my Imam. We all, make this dua. Sallallahu Muhammad, please, if you can move forward a little bit.
Everybody,
Please move forward so that someone one more time, loud salawat ala Muhammad wa alayhi Muhammad. Another loud salawat for ta'ajeel Hazrat Hujjat alayhi salatu wassalam. So dua that you make, that we make, that oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please make me alive, give me a long life so I can do ziyarah of my Imam. I don't know when my Imam is going to reappear, and no one knows. Even Imam does not know that when he will be ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reappear. Because Imam is not in ghaibat depending on his own will. He is not in occultation by his own choice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made him to live a life like that, so he is there, he is alive, but he is unseen. In the different school of thoughts of Islam, all of them, they believe in Imam-e Mahdi ajalallahu ta'ala. But the difference is, some believe that Imam has yet to be born, and that's what all the school of Al-Sunnah, they believe that Imam is not born yet. When this world will be full of oppression and injustice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to send an Imam, and his name is the same like we believe, and that Imam is going to help and bring justice to this world. But our school of thought and our belief is that no, Imam has not yet to be born, he has already been born, and he is born in the house of Imam-e Hasan-e Askari alayhi salatu wassalam. And we have all the dates, we have all the information. He was born on the 15th of Sha'ban, 255th Hijrah. So we know all the information, and we believe in that Imam, that he is still alive. He can see us, he knows what is going on, he knows what we are in need of. He is aware of our day-to-day business. The only thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had made special arrangements for our Imam to live a life like that. So he's not visible to us, but he can see us. And there's another, it's a long debate, since we don't have enough time, I'm not going to go much deeper into it. So some of them, they believe that Imam is not born yet, but we believe that Imam has been born, and he is living a life, that the life has been chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not his choice to live a life like that he is in occultation. And it's more than like 1,000 years, 1,100 years that Imam is, the time that he went into, because the occultation has two parts, the minor ghaibat, the minor occultation, and then major occultation. Imam was born in 255th Hijrah. After 5 years, when he was 5 years old, when Imam Yasin Askari alayhi salatu wassalam got murdered, so Imam had to go into occultation because the enemy was after Imam, they wanted to kill Imam. So Imam went into occultation, and if you have gone to Samarra and you have done the ziyarah, there's a sardab down there, the basement that you see, and you go in there, mashallah, they have made it, it's well prepared now. Before it wasn't like that finished, but now they have done a lot of work. So when you go into the basement, Imam was there who led a funeral prayer of his own father, our 11th Imam. So the army was there to arrest Imam while he was 5 years of age. Imam has to offer the funeral prayer of an Imam. It's not that an infallible personality can come and lead prayer for Imam. Imam has to do all the arrangements for the funeral, since a Masoom has to be there to process all the funeral procession and everything. So when the funeral procession was there for our 11th Imam, Ja'far Kadhab, who was the brother of Imam-e Hasan Askari alayhi salatu wassalam, I would request one more time if you can please just move forward a little bit, because all those who are coming later, they're having difficulty. One more time, please. Recite a loud salawat and keep coming, keep moving to the front. We have enough space. Please, one more time, a louder salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, our 11th Imam in the 260th Hijrah, when Imam got murdered, so the 12th Imam offered the funeral prayer. So the army was there to arrest our Imam, and Imam went to his home in Samarra, and he went into the basement, and from there he disappeared. The army went behind him to arrest him, but Imam disappeared. And that happened when our last Imam, our 12th Imam, was only 5 years of age, in the year of 260th Hijrah. So at that time the minor occultation started, because Imam has to live that kind of life just to save himself, because that was planned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Imam was in touch with his representatives, because Imam, the guide, the leader, has to be there to guide humanity, because that is the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam cannot be far away, Imam cannot be out of touch. So the people who need help, who's going to guide them if Imam is not there? So Imam has selected 4 in different times, 4 of his representatives, that we call them Nawabe Arba'a. Usman ibn Said was one of them. Usman ibn Said, Muhammad ibn Usman, Hussein ibn Ru, and then Muhammad ibn Said Samri. So 4 of these Nawabe Arba'a were there, and that minor occultation, it started from 260th Hijrah, and it lasted up to 329th Hijrah. So that was for 69 years. So 69 years of that time, Imam was there. Imam was in touch with 4 of his representatives, and those representatives in different times, they were in touch with all the believers, all the Shias. Shia used to go to the representative, they used to give him their question, and that question, they were taking to Imam, and Imam used to help them. But when 69 years have passed away, with the permission, with the order, with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Imam had to go into the major occultation that started from 329th Hijrah, and it is going on until now. Alright, now the question arises here, that when Imam left into, from the minor occultation, before he was in touch with one of his representative, and people used to get in touch with him. So after Imam went into the major occultation and no one is in touch with him, and that's what, the narrations we have, that if someone claims that I am in touch with Imam, if someone claims, there are many of the scholars, Maraje, many of the selected people who are in touch with Imam, but no one claims. If someone claims that yes, I am in touch with Imam, the narration says that he is a liar. So after Imam went into the major occultation in 329th Hijrah, now the question is that who are there that we are going to ask that I need help, and Imam is going to help me? Who is there who's going to take my letter, my request, my problem, my issue, take it to Imam, and then Imam is going to answer and resolve my problem? Imam answered that himself before he went into the major occultation. And that's what the problem we have right now. Many of the Shias, unfortunately, they believe that since Imam has gone into Ghaibat-e-Kubra, major occultation, so we are in the Bay'at of Imam, so there is no one, no infallible personality is there to guide us, and we are not responsible to listen to someone else, since Imam is not in touch with us, so we are waiting until the Imam comes. But that is again not the justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and not even the justice of Hujjat-e Khuda Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa alayhi salatu wassalam. So it has to be someone that we have to refer to them, and Imam had made all the arrangements. Before he went into the Ghaibat-e-Kubra, the major occultation, he announced and he said, Ammal hawadithul waqi'atu farja'u fiha ila ruwati ahadithina فَإِنَّهُمْ حُجَّتِي عَلَيْكُمْ وَأَنَا حُجَّةُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِمْ. So Imam said that since I am going into the major occultation, and now you have some questions, you are going to have some problems, you are going to have some issues, so I'm referring you to those that I am hujjat over them, and those are hujjat over you. And that is the hadith that we take this hadith in support of taqleed. Many of people today that we don't have to believe in taqleed. What is taqleed? Since the Imam is there, in the presence of Imam, you cannot have taqleed. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad. Please hold. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ala Muhammad salawat. If you can please move a little bit forward, I will request you again one more time. Please move a little bit forward.
Let's come forward. Let's come forward. The Lord will be blessed, brothers.
Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
There's enough space here.
We got more space up in the front. Please keep moving forward. All those who are sitting
Don't leave
in
space
the back,
between.
please move in the front. We got enough space in there. Please recite a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please recite another loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So many of the Shias, they believe today that what is taqleed? We're not supposed to believe in taqleed since our Imam is there, our Imam is alive. So when Imam is there, why are we going to someone else? So Imam is there and we are in the bay'at of Imam. We have pledged allegiance to our Imam. But Imam himself has said it that when I'm going into the major occultation, you are not going to be in touch with me directly. So there has to be a source in between. Source between you and me, so those who can teach you the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, the teachings of Quran, and those who can give you the education according to the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. And Imam said that I am hujjat over them and those are hujjat over you, and that is called taqleed. So taqleed is, we are not in the taqleed of Imam. You cannot be in taqleed of Imam. Many of the Shia that who are not aware of this, the sensitivity of the matter, they say we are in taqleed of Imam. No, you cannot be in the taqleed of Imam. You are in a bay'at of Imam. There is no taqleed of Imam. Imam, we have to be in bay'at of Imam. And marja', you cannot be in a bay'at of a marja' since he is not infallible. So we are in taqleed. Taqleed, what does that mean? That whatever the orders, the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt, they do research in it and they extract the information and then they present it for us. So the teachings of Quran and Ahlul Bayt, for those who are not well educated to research in Quran and Ahadith and take the lessons and the teachings and the orders and different masail from Quran and Hadith, that's what the taqleed is. If you are at the level that you don't need to do that, then of course, then you can follow your own research if you are able to do that. So Imam has said that since I'm going into the major occultation, so these maraji are hujjat over you and I am hujjat over them. And we have many of the narrations that all of these maraji, they seek guidance from Imam and Imam guide them. But now the question is that since we are living in a time that we are not in touch with our Imam. So now if you can go back, the point that I said, that what should be our goal? To see our Imam, that we pray all the time, Ya Allah, please make me alive until the day that our Imam reappears. I want to see my Imam. That should be my prayer, or my prayer should be beyond it? Should I just pray that, oh Allah, I want to see my Imam just to see with my eyes? Is that the goal? Is that the point? Is that my final wish? Is that what I desire? That I want to see my Imam? Is that enough? Or there is something beyond it? If just to see the Imam would have been enough, many of the people have seen Imam. And those were not believers. Did Shimr see Imam or not? Yes, in Karbala, Imam was right there. The army of Yazid was seeing Imam. They were looking at Imam. Imam was right in front of them. So many of the enemies of Ahlul Bayt, they have seen Imam. Many of the killers of Ahlul Bayt, they have seen Imam. Many of the people who have plotted against Imam, they have seen Imam. So it means that just to see Imam is not enough. Then my prayer, I should think about something else. My prayer should elevate. I have to have a higher status of thinking. My thought process, I should change my thought process that, oh Allah, just to see my Imam is not enough. Of course I want to see it. Of course I want to do ziyarah of my Imam. But just the ziyarah is not enough. So what is enough then? Let's go and ask the Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa. And the Holy Prophet in one of his hadith says, Mammata walam ya'arif Imam-e-Zamana mata mitatan jahiliyyah. The one who died in such a state that he had no recognition of his Imam. The one he died that he was not known, his Imam was not known to him, he never knew his Imam. The Holy Prophet says, Mata mitatan jahiliyyah. He died in the state of ignorance. So let's see how we can know our Imam. Because seeing is not enough. We have to know our Imam. So in order to know our Imam, we have to work something. It's not that Imam is going to be known by us by himself. No, we have to take some action. And when we know our Imam, then of course we can, arrange how we can be a part of army of Imam, how we can join the army of Imam, because that is our final wish. We do not want to be away from the army of Imam, and that's what we always pray. Allahumma ajil waliyakal faraj. Oh Allah, please hasten the reappearance of Imam, because I want to join my Imam, because that is my final wish. If I would be able to join the army of my Imam, I'll be successful. But if I could not be able to join the army of Imam, what is the point? This life is nothing. Because the destination, when the Imam reappears, if I could not join the Imam's army, even if I would be president here, a minister here, I own the whole world, I own the business, all around the world, but if I could not join the Imam's army, then what's the point? What was the purpose of my life? But if a person who is a poor person, living a miserable life, but when Imam reappears, he would have been able to join Imam's army, alhamdulillah, that is success. Because the success is that would I be able to join my Imam's army? That is the question. That would I be, let's analyze ourselves. Because all of us, we wish it could be sisters, it's brothers, we all wish that we want to be a part of Imam's army, and that is the final success. So if we have that wish and we want to be a part of Imam's army, would there be a criteria for hiring? Or it's not going to be a criteria, everybody could be a part of Imam's army. When you go to look for a job here, you want to go into army, you want to go into another job, there's a criteria. You have to have a certain education level. You have to have a certain degrees, you have to have such and such experience, and then they give you a job, then they hire you. So when we are going to go to our Imam and ask him that, Imam, I want to join your army, what Imam is going to give me just like that? That's yes, you are hired? Or there's going to be a criteria. And if there's a criteria, should I start working on that from today or not? Should I prepare myself from today? That criteria, and that criteria is disclosed. It's not that it is hidden and no one knows that what is, and it is simple. It is very simple, and Ma'asumeen and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wasalam have told us that what are the points that you have to do so you can become the part of Imam's army. And those points, if we could focus on those points, alhamdulillah, the life in this world and hereafter is going to be successful. There are many, the scholars have written a lot of books on that. Dr. Ali Shariati talks about that. And he says that when I was young, I thought that let me change the whole world. He said, I tried to do that, but it wasn't possible. I thought, no, it's hard for me. He said, when I grew a little more, I said, you know what, I cannot change the whole world. Let me change my country. And then Dr. Ali Shariati says that when I tried to change the whole country, I still found it hard. I said, no, it's not in my control. It's beyond that. I cannot do that. Then he writes it that he said, you know what, let me change my community, the community I live in. Again, it was hard because everybody had their own opinions, and nowadays it's even harder to work in the community because sometimes when you are requesting them, for a noble cause, people still have a lot of issues, we can't help you, brother, for this reason and that reason. If somebody calls you for the noble cause, the cause of Imam, then forget your egos, forget your personal issues. There could be a lot of good things you must be doing, but when you are invited to the message of Ahlul Bayt, then forget about your personal issues, forget about your egoism, that's what the problem is, that most of the time we are surrounded by our ego. We are surrounded by our own personality. We do not want to come out of that. And that's what the problem. Many of the time we have very good slogan that we go behind it and we leave Haq. And that's what happened in the Battle of Siffin. When in the Battle of Siffin, when people came out and they had Quran over spears, and they said that, they came against Ali ibn Abi Talib, Al-Hukmu Illa Lillah, when they came, and they said that, there is no other order but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's order we are going to accept. So people came to Amir al-Mu'mineen and they said, Ya Ali, how come we can go against these people? Because these people are talking about Islam. These people who have Quran over spears, they are talking about the religion. So Amir al-Mu'mineen said, Kalimatu haqqin yuradu biha batil. Kalimatu haqqin, that kalima is haqq, that message is haqq, that they are presenting that message. The kalimatu haqqin yuradu biha batil. But the way they are presenting this message, in the back of their mind, they are not truthful. In the back of their mind, they are not sincere. So many of the times that when we are approached for a message, we do not cooperate in that sense. And that's what Dr. Ali Shariati says, that when I thought to change the whole community, I figured it out very hard. I thought it's not possible for me. Then I said, let me change my own family. And he said it was even much harder to even work on the family and change my whole family. So then he said, when I was the last stage of my life, I looked all in the back and I said that's what my plan was. I tried to change the country, then I tried to change the workforce, and then country, and then community, and then my own home. He said, I realized the last stage of my life that if I would have started with the last thing, that let me change myself, and then that change is going to start from there. He said, first I tried to change the whole world. I couldn't do it. Country couldn't do it. Community couldn't do it. Finally I said, I believe that let me change myself. He said, when I changed myself, I believed in that if I change, the whole world is going to change.
Salawat. لبيك يا مهدي
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 برائے خشنودی محمد وآل محمد صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
So when I'm planning to change the whole world, to prepare ourselves for the zuhur of our Imam, when it's going to start? How I'm going to get it started? Brother, sister, it starts with myself. It starts with myself. If I change, it's going to spread around. That change is going from myself to my family, and then it's going to go on and on and on. Many of the things that I can work on myself, lot of things that I can change myself, and it's going to bring a huge change. Many of the problems we have just because we have no control over our talk. We just talk sometimes unnecessary. We hurt some people. We hurt some people's feelings sometimes unnecessary. Sometimes we talk when it's not needed. Sometimes we talk and we hurt other believers, mu'mineen and mu'minat, and our Imam does not get pleased. So if I do not have control over myself, if I do not know what to say, when to say, how to say, it means that I could not be able to join Imam's army. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
One more time, loud salawat ala Muhammad. And many of the problems that we face is just because of our talk. Sometimes we don't have control over our words. Sometimes we just say something, but those words, they hurt a lot. Let me give you an example. If you have to have, if you have gone to catch a fish, and you have that hook, and you put that hook in the ocean or in the river, you are trying to catch a fish. Which fish you'll be able to catch? Now there are two kinds of fish. The fish that is going to save herself is the one that keeps her mouth shut because your hook is in there. Soon the fish opens her mouth, she is going to lose her life. So many of the times we get into trouble just because of opening our mouth unnecessarily. Many of the times when we are supposed to speak, we keep quiet. And many of the time when we are not supposed to speak, we say a lot of words. So the first thing to begin with, to be a part of Imam's army is that how I'm going to change myself. So it starts with to bring a change to my personality. It starts to bring a change to myself. And then there's a whole list that I can work on that list to be Imam's army. And number one, out of that, all those points that I can work upon those, the point number one is to be muttaqi, to be pious, to be pure. If I have no time to pray, to offer my daily prayers, and then I expect that I'll be in Imam's army, no, it's not going to be possible. Because Imam has a criteria, and that criteria is very tough. Many of the time you have seen, in the time of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, some people came to Imam and they said, Ya Mawla, we are there to help you. So you stand up and we are there to help you, we'll help you and we'll take you right back. So Imam said that if you want to help me, there was a fire going on right there. So Imam said, why don't you jump into that fire? They said, Mawla, we are there to help you and you are trying to harm us, you are trying to kill us, and you are trying that we are going to lose our life. They said, Mawla, we are there. In the meantime, when Imam was having conversation with them, a person, a true believer, a true Shia, Harun Makki, walks over there. So Imam said, Harun, welcome, there's a fire, why don't you jump in that fire? He never asked Imam that Mawla is going to burn me, Mawla, what is going to happen? He jumped into the fire. So Imam, took some time and kept talking to those people, and those were worried that Harun must have been burned because he got into the fire. So after some time in the oven, the fire was there, the fire was on. So Imam said that why don't you go and open that oven and see what's happening to Harun. When they went there, they opened it. Harun was sitting in there calmly. They have witnessed fire themselves. The fire was on in the oven, but when they went to open that and see Harun Makki, which state he was sitting in a garden, in a beautiful garden, reciting Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Imam said that if I would have garden, 10 like Harun, I could have stood up against these oppressors and I could have fight. The problem, brothers and sisters, is why we have this narration that 313 people are going to be there, then Imam is going to reappear. And let me ask you this, is Imam in occultation depending on his own choice or it's something else? Imam is in Ghaibat, he wants to be in Ghaibat, he wants to live in Ghaibat? No, of course not. Why? So what is the reason that Imam is not between us? And is it good for us that we are without Imam? Of course we have Imam, but not in we cannot see Imam, he's not among us. Apparently, of course we can connect to Imam, but is it good for us or it's not good for us? Of course, we are not in a good shape, because we are living a life that we cannot see our Imam. So what are the things that we can do? We can bring some changes and we can call our Imam to reappear. Brothers and sisters, there are many things. There's a prescription that you can work on it. You can see that what are the things. Never ever, lose your prayer. Never ever disrespect human being. A person who is disrespectful to a believer, mu'min or mu'mina, riwayat and narrations say he or she is not going to be part of Imam's army. The one who goes against a mu'min, unfortunately a leg pulling, a backbiting, and talking against a believer is not going to be Imam's army. So there are many other things that how we can join our Imam's army, because Imam is there and all our actions, all our deeds are presented, in the service of Imam every single day. And if we do good, Imam gets pleased with it. Imam gets happy with it. But if, God forbid, we do something bad, Imam does not feel happy. So that's what the question today is, how we are going to change, our life. And number one, I'm going to give you prescription and I'll conclude since we don't have enough time. So number one prescription is the thing that is keeping us away from our Imam is the use of technology these days. You agree to me or not? The main reason today that we cannot connect to our Imam is the misuse. It's not the technology. It's the misuse of technology. Technology is blessing, alhamdulillah. You have these devices, you have these phones, you have these tablets, you have these laptops, mashallah. All the knowledge is there. Now you don't need to go into the Najaf or Khun's library to search for a book. You just go online, you can find that book in all the languages. Najul Balagha, I was talking about that the other day. Najul Balagha has been translated in English. It has been translated in Persian. It has been translated in Urdu. It has been translated in German. It has been translated in French. It has been translated in Polish language and many of the Spanish language. You talk about a language, Najul Balagha has been translated. Many of the books, the language that you can just go online, find. So there's a use of this technology that sometimes, if you misuse it, that technology is going to take you away from our Imam. And unfortunately, it is stealing our time. Unfortunately, this TV is stealing our precious time. This technology, our phones, these devices, these smart devices are stealing our time, and we do not even know that what's happening to us. These devices are taking our precious time. The time that we could use to connect to our Imam, that time is being stolen by these devices. Think about it. If you are watching something, just ask yourself a question. Whatever you are watching, if Imam looks at it right now, would he be pleased or not? If you answer yourself, yes, my Imam is going to be pleased, watch it. Otherwise, just leave it, because this life, brother and sister, 50, 60, 70 years of age, and then what else? Of course, we are going to be answerable. Of course, we are going to be held responsible. So, this life is very short. Let's try to connect to our Imam, because this life is nothing, brother and sister. You live like a king. If I ask you that if you compare this life to the life hereafter, what is the ratio? You cannot say that life is 1% and the life hereafter is 99%. You cannot say that is 99.99% and this is 0.1%. No, that 99.99 still has a limit. So the narrations we have say that life is unlimited and this life is limited. All of us we know, you live 100 years, you live 200 years, this is still limited. One day you have to die. So then Ahlul Bayt say that this limited life you live the way we want you to live will make the life which is unlimited the way you would like to live.
Salawat.
Brothers and sisters, these are the days of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Let's bring some change in ourselves. Let's try to be a part of Imam's army. And believe me, it's not that we cannot be a martyr among the martyrs of Karbala. We can still be. We have Aqidah Raj'at, the belief of Raj'at. Those who had a wish that we could have joined the Imam's army, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints 2 angels. If that person dies, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appoints 2 angels over the grave of that believer. So the day Imam is going to reappear, those angels will wake up that moment. Oh moment, wake up! You used to have a wish that I want to be a part of Imam's army. Your Imam has reappeared and Imam is calling you. So that person is going to get up in his grave and then join Imam's army because he had a wish that he wanted to be a part of Imam army. And that is the Aqidah Raj'at. We can still be part of our Imam army. You know, brothers and sisters, let's start working on ourselves. There are certain things, you know, that we can bring those changes. Dua faraj, dua nudba, make a routine of your life, make a habit. We have so much other, you know, that our time is being consumed. So just make a habit to recite dua faraj. Make a habit to recite dua nudba. Make a habit in the morning when you get up, say assalamu alayka ya Imam-e-Zamana. Every morning when you wake up, say your salam. To say salam is mustahab. To receive jawab is wajib. So when you say your salam to our Imam, it is wajib upon Imam to reply back to you. So when Imam replies back early in the morning that my salam upon you too, our day is going to be blessed, alhamdulillah. Because the blessings of Imam are going to be, you know, with us. So brothers and sisters, the month of Muharram, let's think that how we can, you know, use this azadari to connect with our Imam. How we can step forward to join our Imam's army. These tears that you shed, these tears are very precious. These tears are there that they can connect us to our Imam. We have many narrations and many riwayat that say, and I have recited one the day earlier, Man baka aw abka aw tabaka wajabat lahul jannah. Wajabat lahul jannah. It's so easy, brother and sister, but with marifah. Hakka marifat. It's with marifat. If you cry with the marifat, Masoom says, the Holy Prophet says, the Jannat is wajib upon you. Allama Hilli came up with this question that how come this hadith could be true that if you just cry for Sayyid al-Shuhada, Jannat becomes wajib upon you. So one day he was traveling towards Karbala for ziyarah, Allama Hilli. And that Allama Hilli, that you know that just because of Allama Hilli, the whole country of Iran, alhamdulillah, is Shia today. It is the service of Allama Hilli. I narrated the story the other day with the king Khuda Bande, Sultan Muhammad Khuda Bande. Just because of Allama Hilli, the whole country of Shia, Iran is Shia today. And first Ayatullah in the history was Allama Hilli. There was no title of Ayatullah before Allama Hilli. The very first title of Ayatullah was given to Allama Hilli, such a noble personality. So Allama Hilli, he just thought about that how come this is possible that if I cry for Imam al-Hussein, Jannat is going to be wajib for me? He was traveling and going for ziyarah. He was riding over a horse or some ride. So a Sayyid Arab joined him. And they started talking to each other. That Sayyid, that Arab was also going for ziyarah. And Allama Hilli was also going for ziyarah towards Karbala. So Allama Hilli and that Sayyid, they started talking to each other. So after Allama Hilli found out that this person who's walking with me and talking to me, he's a very knowledgeable person. It's not because Allama Hilli himself was knowledgeable. So when he was impressed by that Sayyid Arab who was talking to Allama Hilli, he said, this person has even more knowledge, more than me. So he said, let me ask my problem because he will be able to answer that question. So Allama Hilli asked him that I have a question that is keep bothering me, that I always think that how come Jannat could be wajib because of tears, just to cry for Imam al-Hussein, and the hadith said that Jannat is wajib. So that Sayyid told Allama Hilli that, oh Hilli, I have a question for you before I answer your question. Allama Hilli said, okay, what is your question? So that Arab, that Sayyid asked Allama Hilli that if, I'm going to give you an example, a scenario, that if a king is going for hunting, he goes into jungle, he goes into forest, and then he goes too far, all the food he had, he consumed, all the water he had is finished, and then he is feeling hungry, then he is thirsty, and he is almost there to lose his life. There's no water to drink, there is no food to consume, and all of a sudden that king, now the Sayyid is asking a question from Allama Hilli. All of a sudden, that Badshah, that king, looks at a small hut and there's a light in there. So the king goes in there and there's an elderly couple there. they were sitting and they have a small goat with them. So that king asked them that I'm thirsty, I'm hungry, can you please save my life? Can you please do me some favor? Can you please do something for me? So if that couple, they give milk of that goat to the king to drink, and after he drank milk, they give him the, they cook, they slaughter that animal, they slaughter the goat, they cook, and they give the meat to the king. So the life of king was saved. Why? Because that couple, they saved the life of a king. And before the king was leaving, the king told that elderly couple that if you get a chance to come into the city, because you live in a jungle, you live in a forest, if you get a chance to come into the city, I'm a king, I'm a ruler. No, so just come and see me and I'll do you a favor, I'll give you a favor, I'll do something for you. Since you have helped me, you have saved my life. So now Sayyid asked question from Allama Hilli. Oh Allama Hilli, one day those couple, that couple came into the city and went into the palace of that king. So the king reminded of the whole thing that they have saved his life. What should the king do to compensate that? That Sayyid asked a question to Allama Hilli. What should the king do? Is it fair to just give one goat? Because what they have done, there was the only one goat they had. They sacrificed it, they slaughtered it, they gave meat to the king's life was saved. So is that enough to give one goat to the king? Allama Hilli thought for a while and he said, no, it's not fair. The Sayyid asked, is it okay to give 2 goats to the king? To that couple from the king? He said, no, it's still not fair. And that Sayyid went on and on and on. And Allama Hilli said, no, it's not fair, no, it's not fair. So then that Sayyid asked Allama Hilli, oh Allama Hilli, what should the king do to make them happy, to compensate that because they have, slaughtered a goat, so what should the king do? Allama Hilli replied that they had, whatever they had, their all universe, their all wealth, their all belongings was just one goat. So for the king, they slaughtered that goat and they gave it to the king to save his life. That's all they had. They had nothing but the goat. So whatever they had, they gave it to the king to save his life. Now it is wajib upon king. It's an obligation upon king. Whatever he has, he should give it to that couple. Now the Sayyid asked a question, oh Allama Hilli, you are thinking that Allah is going to give Jannah just for the tears shed for Husayn ibn Ali? If the king should give whatever he has to the couple because they had given everything they had. Oh Allama Hilli, let me ask you this. That Sayyid is asking a question. Oh Allama Hilli, let me ask you this. Husayn ibn Ali, what did he say for himself that he did not sacrifice for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What did Husayn ibn Ali keep, for himself? He has given everything for his master. So now if Allah gives Jannah to his believers, now if Allah gives Jannah to his followers, now if Allah gives Jannah, Husayn ibn Ali has given everything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then in the meantime, Allama Hilli had a stick in his hand. That stick fell down and that Sayyid took that stick, gave it to Allama Hilli. Allama Hilli asked another question. Oh Sayyid, is it possible that I can see my Imam? And that Sayyid said that one end of stick is in your hand and the other end of stick is in the hand of your Imam. Oh Hilli, you think that we are not aware from you? You think that we are not with you? Azadaro, these tears that you shed for Husayn ibn Ali, these tears are very valuable. These tears, they have no price. Azadaro, ajrakum Allah. We have only 4 nights left. Ajrakum Allah, jazakallah khair al jaza. These tears that you shed for Husayn ibn Ali. Allahu Akbar. Because Husayn ibn Ali did not leave anything behind. Allahu Akbar. Many of the Maraji who have seen, they used to cry like this. Someone came in a procession where there was a procession going on, and Hazrat Ayatullah Mahdi, Bahr al-Ulum was there in that procession. All of a sudden, he took off his imama and he started doing matam very fast. And someone came to him and asked him, "Oh, Ayatollah Mahdi Bil Ayub, why did you do that? You took off your imama, you got into that, those people among those matamis, and you started doing matam very fast." He said, "How could I not join those matamis? Because what I have seen, you didn't see that. I have seen my imam himself among those matamis, doing matam for Hussein ibn Ali, crying for Sayyid al-Shuhada." Azadaro, these tears that you shed for Hussein ibn Ali. And tonight we are going to talk about one of the nephew of Hussein, Hazrat Qasim, a 13 years old. Azadaro, Quran says, وَأَمَّا الْيَتِيمَ فَلَا تَقْهَرْ. When you have a yatim, be nice to them. Hazrat Qasim, he had lost his father, and the mother who is raising her child, when the father is not there, that mother every single day looks at the son and she prays for his long life. "Oh Allah, please give long life to my son, because he is the one that I look into my husband. He is the one that I'm basically, Ya Allah, my son, give him a long life." Azadaru, and when their son becomes to an age of 13 and their son is ready to die, as from the heart of that mother, how would she feel? Azadaru, on the night of Ashura, when Hussein ibn Ali called all of his companions, and Imam Hussein asked them, "If you want to leave, I guarantee your paradise. I tell you that all of you are going to be in the heaven. I allow you to leave. Tomorrow, all of you going to die if you stay with me. All of you, no one is going to survive. All of you are going to die." Azadaro narration says there was a 13 years old boy sitting in the back. In the last row there was a 13 years old boy. He stood up, he asked a question from his uncle, and the question was, "Ana fihim man yuqtal ya amma?" "Oh my dear uncle, who is going to die tomorrow? Is my name in there also? Would I die also tomorrow?" Azadaro, soon Qasim asked a question. Hazrat Abi Abdullah asked a question from Qasim. "Ya Qasim, Ya waladi, kayfal mautu indak?" How is the death towards you? Qasim, "Oh my dear Qasim, how do you feel dead?" Qasim replies, "Ahla min al-asal, Ya amma, fi nusratik, ahla min al-asal." Yabna Rasulullah, Ya Amma, to help you, Qasim find death sweeter than honey. Azadaro, that was the night of Ashura. And now the day of Ashura came. Azadaro, the companions of Hussein ibn Ali were gone. Ali Akbar was gone. At one point, Imam al-Hussein came to a point and said, "Hal min nasirin yansurna, hal min mu'idhu yughithuna." Is there someone to help me? Hussein is helpless today. I have no one to help me. Azadaro, Qasim could not bear that. Qasim came to Abi Abdullah. "Ya Amma, I'm going to give my life for you." Azadaro, Aka Hussein asked a question from Qasim. "Ya waladi, atamshi ilal maut birijlay?" "Oh Qasim, you are going to walk on your own feet towards death." "Qasim, how you are going to walk?" "Qasim, I can't see." "Atamshi ilal maut birijlay?" Azadaro, Qasim replied, "فَكَيْفَ لَا يَا أَمَّا وَأَنْتَ بَيْنَ الْأَعْدَاءِ." "Oh my dear uncle, you are among the enemy. لَا نَاصِرُكَ وَلَا مُعِينُ." Oh, there is no one to help you. Azadaro, ajrakum an Allah. Aka Hussein, riwayat says, narration says, hugged Qasim. He came in, he got into his arm, and both started crying. Aka Hussein, Hazrat Qasim, they started crying. They kept crying and crying and crying until both of them were fainted. They fell down on the land of Karbala. Azadaro, after some time, when they got back, Imam al-Hussein said, Qasim, how can I give you permission to die? Because whenever I look at you, it reminds me of my brother Hassan. It always reminds me of my brother. Azadaro, let me ask you, when you are in trouble, when you are in hardship and calamity, if your brothers are there, you feel comfort in your heart, you feel strength in your heart. That's what Hussein ibn Ali said, Oh Qasim, how I'm going to allow you to die, because as long as you are there, it reminds me of my brother. Azadaro, Qasim was anxious to die. Qasim went to his mother, Ya Ummah, my uncle is not giving me permission to die. She said, Qasim, I remember a time when your father was ready to leave us. He has written a letter for your uncle, and he told me when my son Qasim feels himself in a greatest trouble, ask him to give this letter to his uncle. Qasim, take this letter and give it to your uncle Hussein. Azadaro, Qasim opened that letter, walked rapidly to the Hussein ibn Ali. He gave that letter to Aka Hussein. Aka Hussein opened that letter. It was written, Oh my dear brother, it is from your brother Hassan ibn Ali. Oh, one day my son Qasim is going to come to you. Oh, Qasim is going to ask you a permission. Hussein, this is my wasiyah. But do not ask Qasim not to go. Oh, my beloved brother Hussein. Oh, give permission to Qasim, let him go. Azadaro, Hussein gave permission. Aga Hussein gave permission to Qasim. Qasim came to the battlefield. Qasim started fighting. He killed 4 of the sons of Arzak-e-Shami. Then he killed Arzak-e-Shami, the bravest soldier of Yazid's army. Azadaro, when Qasim killed all of those, the enemy thought that he is the bravest soldier of Hussein. All of them, they attacked Qasim. This was one soldier of Hussein ibn Ali. But the army of Yazid together, they attacked just one Qasim. The horses from right, they gone on the left. The horses from the left towards the right. Azadaro, Qasim was on the ground, on the land of Karbala. The horses were crushing Qasim. Ajrukum min Allah. Ajrakum min Allah. Azadaro, all shuhada, all murdered. When they left from the horde, they got onto the land of Karbala. They all have said, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. They all said, Salam to Aka Hussein. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. But would you listen what did Qasim say? Qasim did not say Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. Azadaro, soon Qasim came from the hall, said Adrikni ya Ummah. Oh my uncle, help me. Oh Qasim needs your help. Oh my dear uncle. Azadaro, Hussein ibn Ali ran towards Qasim. Aina anta ya Qasim. Oh, where are you, my dear Qasim? Ajrukum min Allah, Ajrukum min Allah. Azadaro, Hussein arrived where Qasim was on the land of Karbala. Azadaro, Hussein said, Yu'izzu ala ammik wallah, an tad'uhu wa la yujibu, wa yujibu wa la yu'inu. Oh Qasim, you called your uncle. Uncle is sorry, couldn't help you. Qasim, when I came, I couldn't help you, Qasim. Ajrakum an Allah. Qasim, when I came, my help did not give you any benefit. Azadaro Hussain ibn Ali, guard up Qasim, lifted up Qasim, put him right next to the chest of Hussain. Aka Hussain hugged Qasim, put him right next to his chair, started dragging him towards the tent. Towards the tent, Azadaro. When Aka Hussain brought Qasim to the tent, there was body of Ali Akbar already there. One side Hussain ibn Ali placed the body of Qasim. So Hussain sat in between like a namazi sits in tashahhud. One side is Ali Akbar, on the other side is the body of Qasim. Hussain placed one hand on the chest of Qasim, one hand on the chest of Ali Akbar, looked at the sky, said, Wa Gurbata! Wa Gurbata! Wa Gurbata! Allah la'natullahi ala al-qawmi az-zalimin wa sayalamu allazina zalamu ayyamun qalbin yanqalibun. Matame Hussain